All right, good evening, everyone. On behalf of the town of Abington, I'd like to welcome you all to this very special occasion as we come together to swear in our new police chief, John Bonney. It's wonderful to see so many of you here tonight and to support this momentum event in our community. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge the hard work that has gone into tonight's ceremony, the continued dedication of our police department and our town officials to make Abington a safer and stronger place. Now, at this time, I'd like to ask the Stoughton Police Honor Guard to please present the colors. Everybody, please rise. I invite everybody to please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It is now my honor to invite Pastor or Reverend Dr. Christy Coburn to lead us in the invocation.
Let us join our hearts and minds together in prayer. God of love and justice, we are grateful for the opportunity to gather today to celebrate our new police chief, along with his beloved family, many friends, and townspeople here in Abington. God, we know that it takes a special person to be a police officer, someone with compassion for life and devotion to community. May this ceremony tonight fill the hearts of our new police chief and all the police officers with whom he works, with honor, with grace, and with love. Amen.
Now I'd like to say a few words about the process that led us to this moment. It's not going to be that long. But we had many highly qualified applicants for the position of police chief, and it was no small task to review all the submissions. But following the process outlined in our town charter, we did conduct some thorough interviews and evaluations. John Bonney clearly stood out as the best choice for our community. His experience, leadership, and vision aligned perfectly with the needs of Abington. We are confident that he will continue to uphold the values of our police department and strengthen our ties as a community. Chief Bonney, we are excited to have you lead the department, and we are all here to support you tonight. At this time, I'd like to invite Kevin Donovan, the chairman of the Board of Selectmen, to share a few words.
Thank you, Scott. On behalf of the Board of Selectmen and the people of Abington, I want to welcome Chief Bonney, his family, to Abington and extend a welcome to all the visiting police chiefs and members of the Stoughton Police Department and his family who are here as well. Just a little quip. After we had signed a contract with the chief, he and I had talked and we were texting back and forth, and I had asked him, gee, when's your last day in Stoughton? And he said, well, it was last Thursday. I said, well, it's going to be kind of tough to leave after 22 years in Stoughton. I think, it's going to be kind of hard to break that tie. So Thursday morning came, and I thought, well, maybe I'll send him a text just to let him know that, we're thinking of him and I wish him well on that day. So I sent him a text and I said, understand that Abington is not that different from Stoughton. And I can say that because once upon a time, before he was in the Stoughton Police Department, I was executive director of the Stoughton Housing Authority, and I know well the community of Stoughton as Abington. So I sent that to him, and he sends me back a text saying, thanks for the text. The next time you're in the area, stop by and visit me, and thanks for all the memories of working together. I'm like, huh? So I said, I think he thinks I'm somebody else, and I said, well, no good deed goes unpunished. But in any event, we wish him well. He clearly is the right choice for Abington. He will fit in very well. Obviously, the demographics of Stoughton and Abington are pretty much the same, and I can say that from experience. So I feel in my heart that we've made the right decision and that he will be an integral part of the community for many, many, many years to come. So with that, again, we welcome everybody here, and I'd like to introduce our State Representative, Allison Sullivan Almeida, for the purposes of a proclamation.
Good evening. I promise I will be quick. Many of you know who I am. I am Allison Sullivan Almeida. I am the state rep for Abington, Whitman, East Bridgewater. And it is truly an honor to be here in your swearing in with your family, your friends, and now your men and women of the Abington Police Department and former men and women of the Stoughton Police Department. I do have a citation here from the House of Representatives, and I know I'm a little bit early because you're technically not sworn in just yet, but it's okay, you're going to be sworn in right after this. So, be hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincere congratulations to Chief Bonney in recognition of your honorable appointment to serve as the Chief of Police within the town of Abington. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all your endeavors. Given this 10th day of September 2024 at the State House of Boston, signed by the Speaker of the House, Ronald Mariano, and offered by me, Allison Sullivan Almeida. I don't know if I'm your state rep or not, but I am in the community, and I look forward to working with you, alongside of you, and advocating for, on behalf of the Abington Police Department up at the State House. So congratulations, Chief.
All right, so somebody took my notes.
Oh, me.
Where it hereby be known to all.
No, here.
I definitely need page 3.
It's a test to see if you can do it on your own.
I can't. Okay. Okay, so now I'd like to invite Lieutenant Dan McGowan from Stoughton Police for a few remarks.
The deputy chief told me I had 30 minutes. I'm going to use every one of them. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to be here, make these remarks this evening. I can't tell you how honored I am to be here to mark the start of the next chapter in a very close friend and distinguished colleague. Now, he's very distinguished now, Chief John Bonney. It's got a good sound to it. I've had the honor of working with John for the last 22 years at the Stoughton Police Department. It feels like more than 100 sometimes. It's, in that time, our organization and policing as a whole has faced many challenges. There's been a lot of changes. Through all the ups and downs we've faced, there was one constant. The men and women of the Stoughton Police Department worked tirelessly to improve the organization, and no one was more devoted than Officer and then Sergeant and finally Lieutenant John Bonney. His contributions to our department and the community as a whole are too many for me to even attempt to recite tonight. His selfless devotion to duty is surpassed only by his devotion to his family. His wife Michelle and his children, Liam and Kaylin, and of course his mother and Phil. Phil is also a police officer for many, many, many years. He's worked on many agencies. They say that Phil's worked on more agencies than the Crown Victoria, but that's true. That's true. But seriously, John wouldn't be the man he is today without all of you. Your love and support has paved the way for him to be here today. And it's an amazing thing. I'm very, very happy. If you were to ask someone, as we often do during a hiring panel, why do you want to become a police officer? One of the most common answers is always, I want to help people. We get that answer so often, sometimes it seems a little canned, maybe even a little practiced. I don't know if Chief Bonney ever gave such an answer, but what I can tell you is that he did exactly that every day. It wasn't always heroic actions, although there was plenty of that. But it was more often his efforts that he made to ensure that everyone he encountered felt special, whether it was a warm smile or a concerned ear for someone having a bad day, or offering guidance through a trying time, or even one of John's famous, always witty and occasionally corny Facebook posts on the department Facebook page. People really loved them. You'd be amazed. I didn't. I thought they were a little corny. But John always does his best to leave people better than he finds them. And I recently witnessed the impact that he made in so many lives in the last week before he prepared to leave Stoughton. Countless people thanking him, congratulating him. It was obvious that he's had a very positive impact on their lives. But John's now left the Stoughton Police Department in his rearview mirror and joined the ranks of Abington PD. I toured the Abington Police Station last week. I was able to meet numerous officers and supervisors, as well as the deputy chief. I was impressed by all of them. In our brief interactions, the deputy's knowledge and passion for the Abington Police Department was apparent. I have no doubt that he will help Chief Bonney hit the ground running and play a vital role in the continued success of the Abington Police Department. To the patrol officers and supervisors working to protect Abington every day, I'd like to give you my personal promise that Chief Bonney will give you 100% of himself. And I know that he will quickly earn your trust and respect as he leads you through the ever-changing landscape of policing into further success. But the success of this agency doesn't depend on just the chief. It depends on all of you, collectively. Chief Bonney will be first to tell you he can't do it alone. So if I may, I'd like to offer a challenge. Get behind Chief Bonney, support him as much as you can, and he will undoubtedly support you, and together you'll reach new heights as an agency. In closing, I'd like to say that I, as well as the rank and file of the Stoughton Police Department, many of here that are here this evening, we're so proud of your selection to this post. But your exceptional leadership and kindness will be sorely missed in Stoughton. Congratulations to the residents of the town of Abington. Congratulations to the men and women of the Abington Police Department. You've got a great one here. And one final challenge for the chief: leave him better than you found him. Congratulations, Chief.
Okay, and now the moment that we've all been waiting for. It's my honor to introduce Chief John Bonney, and joining us in for the swearing in is our town clerk, Leanne Adams, as well as Chief Bonney's wife, Michelle, and their children, Liam and Kaylin. Come on up, please.
I state your name.
John Bonney,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and general laws
the Constitution and general laws
of
of
the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
the Charter and bylaws
the Charter and bylaws
of the Town of Abington,
of the Town of Abington,
and I will faithfully
and I will faithfully,
and to the best of my
and
ability
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office to which
of the office to which
I have been appointed.
I have been appointed. I'll say a few words. Hi. I'm John. Good evening. This is really overwhelming here. To our esteemed guests, chiefs from out of town and in town, members of the community that are here, my family, my friends, my old colleagues, and my new family members of the Abington Police Department, I need to let you know that this is a true privilege to stand here before you, such a distinguished audience, in a moment like this. Tonight, I'd first like to thank the Select Board and the Town Manager for believing me. There was an incredible panel of candidates, and I am truly honored to be here. I officially began this chapter yesterday, September 9th, 2024, which happened to be 22 years to the day that I and a few members in this room started the police academy. We walked through the doors of the 5th Municipal Police Officers class in Weymouth, And what makes this transition here, and sadly he can't be here tonight, but we started every single day off in the academy with then Abington Deputy Chief Dave Majensky booming in through the gym as we were stretching out, and he'd yell out, "Good morning, 5th MPOC," and we would all respond in kind, "Good morning, sir." It was a great way to start the day. Deputy Chief and Chief Majensky was just so incredibly motivating throughout the entire academy. Chief Majensky was training for his first marathon during this academy, so that was great. That was great. During PT, we'd run, and then we'd run some more, and then it would rain, and we'd run, and it would snow, and it would run, and we just kept running. And it was amazing. But the day, and this day will come for you as well, came spray day. And for those of you not in law enforcement, spray day is that awesome moment in the academy where we have to walk up to a staff instructor with a can of pepper spray in hand and get your face filled full of this venomous awfulness and fight through and keep your gun, call in your location and all of that. And it's really motivating at the end of the day. You find out that you can, play through pain and win the day. Funny thing about pepper spray is it doesn't go away if you don't wash your hat. So the following day, we're out. Did I tell you Deputy Chief Majensky had us running? So we went out for another run, and I wasn't the best planner then. I'm a good planner now, right? Then I wasn't. So I wore the same hat, and I started sweating probably 3 steps in, to be honest with you, and my head started burning like crazy with the pepper spray. So I got up the courage to ask Chief Majensky if I could carry my hat, and he, came to the back of the line because I was one of the slower guys, and he said, "Recruit Officer Bonney, I will make a deal with you. You wear my hat, and I will wear yours." And I was like, hell no, no. So I kept my hat on, and I ran with the burning head, and toward the end of the day, he pulled me aside and told me that the lesson in that is this job gets hard sometimes. Sometimes your forehead is going to burn. But when you're surrounded by a fantastic team and people in my academy who encouraged me to just kind of keep going, you can get through anything. And I've carried that with me for my entire career. I have loved this job since the very day I started. I have worked with some of the finest people I could possibly know. And no group has had to reinvent itself more than the Stoughton Police Department. And over the past week, as Lieutenant McGowan pointed out, I have been showered with well wishes, sentimental gestures, speeches that have made me cry more tears than a man my age should cry. And when I walked out the door on my final tour, I was greeted by my family and colleagues for my final call. And that's when Sergeant Hardy came over the radio inside the station. And he read some things that made up my 22 years in the police department. I think he made me sound a little cooler than I was, so thank you for that. But as Lieutenant McGowan indicated, he did say that I left them better than I found the team. And that's the way Sergeant Hardy signs off every, future though, buddy, right? Signs off every roll call, because that's the way he was brought up by his mentor, and that has been carried down to us for many, many years. But then he told me to stand by for more, and I heard the sound of my son Liam's voice over the radio, and that was incredible. That was a very nice gesture by Sergeant Hardy. And Liam was very eloquent, more so than I am now, and at the end he said that we'll be with you every step of the way. And then my daughter came over the radio and told me how much she loves me and she's proud of me. And none of you know this, but my daughter is not a public speaker. She would rather stick hot pokers in her eyes. She grabbed that radio and spoke soundly in there, and I felt the love, though she will, with her elite dance team, get up and dance in front of hundreds of people and crush it in competitions. She does not want to speak, but she did very eloquently then. My wife, Michelle, and I have just really hit the parent lottery here, and I couldn't have done it without them. I don't know why all these years ago, when we were 14, my then girlfriend agreed to go out with me. I was goofy as hell. I am certain my colleagues will send pictures of how goofy I was to you over at some point. But Michelle and I have been together for 34 of our 48 years, and I've never had a bigger champion in my corner. This last month has been just an absolute whirlwind for me, 2 months or so since this process is going on. And I met Deputy Chief Postel about 2 months ago. And the first time we sat together, we talked about our vision if we were ever chosen to run an agency. And we philosophically, tactically, just everything we talked about were in alignment. And I felt like I had worked with him for 30 years, and I had just met him briefly. So when I got the call from Scott that I was being offered the job, one of the very first things I wanted to do was reach out to the deputy chief. I was so nervous to make that call. I don't know why, because within 30 seconds of that call, I knew I was going to have the best partner I could ask for in law enforcement. I really appreciate how gracious and kind you were throughout that whole process. And over the next couple of weeks, it just became stronger and stronger. Friday, I held my first staff meeting with everybody. And just to show you the kind of guy that Deputy Chief Postel is, he had talked to me about honoring outgoing Chief Majensky, who was presented at this meeting with a beautiful award, and we established the Community Partners Award in Chief Majensky's name. And annually, this is going to be given to an officer or a civilian that embodies what Chief Majensky has throughout all of these years. And that wouldn't have been done without the thoughtfulness of Deputy Chief Postel, and I can't thank him enough. Instantly in that conversation, that first one we had after I was hired, he, within 30 seconds, talked about how incredible work you guys do, both on the street and in the community. And then I got here, and I was like, he was right about everything. But before I got started here, I was here a few weeks ago to serve lunch at the senior center, and so many officers came and supervisors came, and we were at the range, we qualified at the range. We had some laughs. A few of us worked the Kenny Chesney concert together, and we had a roll with a couple guys that thought they could take us and couldn't. But you know, in that night we won the day then too, and that's how I've been welcomed here. It's been unbelievable. Sitting over here in the khaki uniforms is Megan Halak, Austin Fitz, and Seamus Smith. Their journey in law enforcement started yesterday as well. And they're recruits for the Abington Police Department. And I'd like to take a moment for thank you for choosing us here. This was the best decision you've made in your young professional lives. I promise you that. If you could stand up, please. Over the next 26 weeks, you three are going to learn what your colleagues have been doing, how they're willing to sacrifice their own safety for a complete stranger who's dialed 911 in the most terrifying time of their lives. While all this is happening, your colleagues' families will be sitting at home or at work on the ball field, blissfully ignorant to the dangers their loved one is in. You must be courageous in the face of danger, sympathetic in times of tragedy, and possess an unbreakable integrity. Anything less than that will not cut it. We are the helpers. Throughout my career, I've been able to attend some of the best law enforcement training available to me. One of my instructors said one time, if someone gives you a book, you should treat it like it's a breath mint, because there's a message inside that book that might be made for you. And I've read some good books over the years. It's Your Ship, Who Moved My Cheese, Extreme Ownership. Good ones. But my favorite book is not anything to do with any leadership class I had been to. It comes from a book that my wife used to read, Liam and Caleb, at bedtime. It's a children's book by Jack Kent called Just Only John. It's a tale of a young boy, 4 years old, who wanted to be someone else because John wasn't enough. He went and got a magic spell, and anytime somebody said an animal or an old man, poof, he turned into that. And by the end, he just wanted to be John, and just only John. And the author writes, be you because somebody has to. Well, here's what I am, I want to tell you. I may be up here with stars on my shoulders and a badge that says Chief on my chest, and I'm extremely proud of that. but in fact, I am just only John. None of this part of this incredible evening here tonight I did on my own. Nothing successful in my life has been because I went out and did it. I've been surrounded by incredible family, colleagues, and friends who were brutally honest to me when I needed to hear it, or lifted me up when I needed to hear it. And that has been this way, whether it was my sister, my wife, sisters I inherited back in 1990. I've had people available that loved and surround me, and I will not let them down. I will not. This room is filled with people who care about me, and as a result of that, care about you. And I promise you, I will not let them down. I hope to continue that in Abington. I want you to tell me your goals, both personally and professionally. I need you to know that when you hurt, I'll hurt too. When you succeed, I'll scream about it from the rooftops. I promise you that. I'll be your biggest champion. If you want to think about doing something, if it's in the back of your head that you want to do something professionally, I urge you to go do it. Don't talk about doing it later. Unfortunately, later isn't always available to us in this line of work. I want you to be uniquely you. I don't want you to be a version of someone you think I want to be. I want you to be. We'll be a team that demands of ourselves accountability, credibility, and inspiration. We will be, I am so honored to be your chief, but I am truly blessed to be your teammate. We are community partners. We are the Abington Police Department. Thank you.
A lot of extra paperwork up there. At this time, I would ask the Reverend Doctor to come back up again, lead us in a goodbye.
And now, may God bless all the police officers here tonight. Your job is extraordinary. Do it well, do it with dignity, and do it with care always. And may God bless you, Chief Bonney. Your leadership is vital. Be sure you always lead with grace, with strength, and with compassion. And may God bless each and every one of us here tonight and in our beloved town, that we might always do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly together. In the name of peace, let us join together and say, Amen.
Well, again, I'd like to thank everyone for being here tonight. This is a moment of transition and excitement for the town of Abington. I'm confident that under Chief Bonney's leadership, we will see continued growth and success. So thank you, and please join me in congratulating Chief Bonney.